Good morning, children. My name is Ratna. I am your online tutor for English and Science. Today, I shall be teaching English poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, which is given for Class 12 CBSE syllabus. This poem is written by famous poet Stephen Spender. He was an English poet and an essayist, and he left university and college without taking a degree and went to Berlin. And he was very keen in politics, and so he himself wanted to be a socialist and pacifist. He wrote many books, and in this poem also, he highlighted the condition of slum children. An elementary school classroom in a slum is a poem in which he has concentrated on the theme of social injustice and class inequalities. These are very important points. We have to underline this point. The main theme of this poem is that it highlights the social injustice and class inequality, because poet is talking about the children who are studying in slum areas. So that is why, if we see before reading that, we should know that have you ever visited or seen an elementary school in a slum? What does it look like? You should ask first of all yourself the question as well as others, because when we have seen the situations, then only you would be able to analyze the and understand the situation. So that is why the poem highlights about the pathetic condition of the children who are studying in the slum areas. Now coming to the poem. First of all, we'll read the poem and then later we will see the explanation. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pillow. The tall girl with her weight worn hat, the paper skimming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. On sour cream walls, donations Shakespeare's had cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities, belled flowery Tyrolese valley, open handed map awarding the world its world, and yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their future is painted with a fog. A narrow street, sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, caves, and stars of words. Surely, Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. For leaves that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night, on their slag heap these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass like bottle bits and stones, all of their time and space of foggy slum. So blot their maps with slums as big as doom, unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves, open history theirs whose language is the sun. Now, coming to the starting of the poem. So, the poet, what is the poet saying here in the first stanza? Far, far from gusty waves, far, far from far away, also it is observed that if even the gusty waves or the strong winds are showing effect on the children's faces who are sitting in the elementary school classroom. What does it mean? It means that children are not having any proper classrooms. That is why even the gusty winds also passing through their faces. Because they are passing on their faces, the children are like rootless weeds. They are exposed to sunlight, they are exposed to wind. And here the poet is saying that like rootless weeds. Who are weeds here? Weeds are generally unwanted plants, but children are here compared to the weeds because they are unwanted to the society. They are not needed to anyone. They are not having any proper growth or food or any facilities which are seen in a city child. Like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, and the hair is just scattered on the pallor of the children, and their experiences heavy winds, heavy sunlight, everything they are facing because they are not having proper classroom. The classrooms are open, as a result of which they are exposed to all this. The tall girl with her weighed down head. So many examples of children are mentioned here. The first example is about a tall girl whose head is weighed down. Why the head is weighed down? The head here is weighed down because of the burden, because they are not having any proper facilities for studies, as a result of which she has to do work and she has to look after the family, and then she reaches the school, and as a result of tired face her head is down. And the paper seaming boy, second example of boy is paper seaming. He is looking like a thin paper. Here paper seaming boy is called as metaphor. He is compared to a paper. And why is he like a paper? Because of malnutrition, not getting proper food. Because they are not having money, they are not considered as human beings by the other world, as a result of which their growth is also not proper. So the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, even though he is very thin, but his eyes are bright and shining. And the stunted unlucky hair of twisted bones. Another example is shown that the boy is stunted, growth is stopped, and who is called as unlucky hair to a father? Of course, because father was also unable to provide proper facilities to the children. So that is why here mentioned as unlucky hair. As he is unlucky, even his bones are twisted. Why bones are twisted? Again, the condition of children, especially observed in these slum areas, are they are not having proper food, proper mm, clothes to wear, proper place to live, proper house to live. As a result of which, it is observed that the stunted growth as well as the twisted bones, generally which is observed in children due to the malnutrition, lack of nutrition, and due to the taking not taking of proper food, and reciting a father's null disease. Father's null disease. He is inheriting the father's disease who had been there in the slum area itself. His lesson from his desk. So he is sitting in the at one desk, and he is listening to the lesson from that place. At back of the dim class, and at the back of the class, one unnoted sweet young boy. Another boy was also there. That is, who is there, very sweet and young, and his eyes live in a dream. Because he is very young, his eyes are in the dream. What is the dream he is seeing? He is seeing the dream of squirrel's game. His body is present in the classroom, but his mind is there outside the classroom. He just wanted to play with the squirrels. Squirrels game. These squirrels were they are present in the trees room. The squirrels are present in the trees rooms under the trees. So that's why the boy is in the dreams of going to play with the squirrels. Other than this, what is other than this? Other than this classroom, because the classroom is not at all interested for the children, because which is not proper, which is not having any facilities, as a result of which nobody is interested to go through this lesson, to pay attention to the lessons which are given by the teacher. And this is about the first stanza. Coming to the second stanza. On sour cream walls. Sour cream. Why is here mentioned sour? because the proper um, building construction is not there, collapsing buildings, because that is the slum area. Even the poet mentioned here, the walls are also not proper painted, as a result of which faded colors of the wall, sour cream walls. And on that faded walls only, it is observing that donations are hanging. Donations which are given to the schools are hanging there. What are the donations? One is the donation of Shakespeare's head. The photo, the image is portrait of Shakespeare is hanging on the wall, which is again given by the people as a donation to the slum area. The second one is cloudless at dawn. That means the bald head of Shakespeare is also observed, which is hanging on the walls. And the civilized dome riding all cities. Another civilized dome. Cities are having full um, buildings, and upon those buildings, dome shaped buildings are there, which is showing that that is the civilized world. And belled flowery Tyrolese valley. Sceneries, scenic beauty of portraits, sceneries are just hanging from the wall, that is the sour cream wall. What are the sceneries? The scenery is about the Tyrolean Valley, where beautiful flowers and churches. The image is having full of this positivity. And the fourth one is the open handed map. Obviously, if we go anywhere, especially to a school, there should be always one map so that children will have idea where they are and what is the world about. So that is why there also in the elementary slum area schoolroom, we'll see the world map is hanging there and awarding the world its world. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this map. But here, poet is trying to convey us the message that what is the need of all these things which are hanging on the wall? They are just donations. They are of no value to the children. The children just now they just want is that they want to get freedom. They want to be they have to be taken from that slum area to the world where is the beautiful world is there. They deserve to see the outside world because they are trapped in this walls of this slum area. So that is why poet is trying to convey us that children, these windows, the windows which are there are not of any use. They are just like map. The other world is beautiful. They have to see the other world where all their future is painted with fog. Here, whereas if we see the slum area classroom, that is showing that the fate of the children is in the fog. The development is restricted, the growth is not there, and the fate is fully of fog. So that is what we'll see in the second stanza. Coming to the third stanza, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. Narrow street. What is a narrow street? Because that is the slum area, even there were not any proper roads or anything observed there. So, as a result of which, poet is telling that the streets are very narrow and with a lead sky. Because that is polluted area, even the sky is polluted. As a result of which, far, far from rivers, caves, and stars of world. But the slum area, where is it located? It is located far, far from rivers where you will see the scenic beauty of rivers, capitals, and stars of words. From all these beautiful world, the children are away. They are trapped in the narrow streets, which is having a lead sky. And next, if we see this another stanza, surely Shakespeare is wicked. Very important line, especially you will get reference to the context. These lines, Shakespeare is wicked. She, who is very famous personality of Shakespeare, that is, he is a dramatist, poet, but still, the literary meaning is nothing of useful, especially for the children in the slum area. So that is why Shakespeare is considered to be wicked. So what? No use for children. Shakespeare is simply hanging on the wall. So, if they are unable to understand the reality, then they cannot analyze the value of anything. And the map, a bad example. Obviously, the world map is there, but which is of no use because These kids are so thin that one can easily see their bones through the thin layer of skin. Their skin is like the thin layer of cloth, and bones beneath are visible even through the skin. The children are suffering from malnutrition, and they wear the spectacles which are made of steel, and they are very uncomfortable, and they are very cheap. Even the spectacles also got repaired, and they were just looking like the stones which have been repaired with pieces of glass sticking out of them. Here, poet tries to explain that these kids have to face so many hardships in their lives. As the slums are getting bigger, they will destroy the future of these children, and it is very difficult for such kids to escape from them. The poet says that these children living in slum areas have faced so many hardships. So they consider even Shakespeare as evil. They don't find the map to be a good thing. They never liked anyone because they were never loved by anyone. Therefore, they hate almost everyone. And because they are living in the slum areas, the poet says that government should take action against these problems, especially faced by these kids. Even he urges them to change the life of these kids who are living in the slum areas. There is a need to break the restrictions which are put in them due to the poverty and lack of resources. He wants the government and the public to help these kids in achieving their dreams, as this will take them away from fog to azure sky. The poet here wants to say that in this way, the kids can be taken away from the darkness of their present to a bright future. He wants these kids to experience the sands and the beauty of nature, as this will lead to a desire of gaining knowledge. They will then go through the white and green leaves. Here, white leaves depicts the books and green leaves depict nature. And then, as a result of their progress, and they'll be able to paint a bright future for themselves. In such a way, poet explained beautifully in this poem, and he just wanted to awaken the public and divert towards the children who are living in the slum area.